See, this is me medicinally speaking right now, because I'm gonna give you a great topic at hand. Those who are medicinal patients that have parents that quote unquote don't agree with terms of being medicinally sound or ethical. But literally, how can I say like this? You drop that baby when she requests it, even though if she's in the wrong or right, you're still liable for being medicinally high at the moment. That's how they play in the situation. So I say this. If I drop that baby and I'm medicinally high, but yet still she's sober and snatching the baby, who's more wrong? So explain that one to me, when literally only thing you had to do is just call the police if I didn't want to give it up in that manner. But now I trap everybody with this one just because of the fact of literally every parent that actually potentially has to go through this situation is now looked at it in a different perspective of who's actually right and wrong. Just because of the fact that literally that parent might have dropped that baby, but literally why was the baby snatched initially? But yes, still, who made the claim of spinal issues? I called it off rip first. But yes, still, she already went to the doctor and said something. Who said something more in this case? But yes, still, I have to deal with the food vultures in this case who's actually hungry for money, because literally people are still collecting unemployment and yes, still, quote unquote, working the system, if you want to call it that, with what? Getting that $600 a week. When I actually even took taxes out of my $600 I was supposed to receive, just because literally I pay my taxes. So everybody think I'm getting $600 a week. I'm actually getting what? 4 and change at that? If I'm not negative on top of it and not paying for housing and eating and my medicinal needs, just to make sure that I'm quote unquote competent to whoop some ass legally on some shit that literally she thought she understood more than me in this case. Because as you can see, I'm still not incarcerated. So, ethically sound. I'm local and homeless for 1 year plus. Locally. And yes, I don't even deserve a phone call or even a, how can I say, missing persons report instead of an all points bulletin. But even an all points bulletin shows that she knows law, though. That's the whole point. You can't call an all points bulletin of what? Somebody's basically known of a location, or somebody's giving somebody information on an individual that's basically not even visually or even verbally in the picture. You're going through a third party in this case, which I still didn't have a problem with, but literally the amount of information that's being given is not enough. Or somebody's holding back information and playing somebody to the left. So I have to go 2 for 2 instead of 1 for 2 in this case, even if you are my parent, because you know about my first one. And I gave you the fact of what? You running your cross-reference. I can say that because literally I thought about that even when I kept the phone. At least I have an outside angle that's looking in this case. But I didn't think it would have folded the company, but literally it folded them and they went to what? AT&T next. But yet still, you as a parent will be ethically sound to think that I am that smart to go against the grain and literally just say like this, like, just try to be the best that I can be, but right and wrong. But at the same time, think of this though. They all knew the situation beforehand, and yes, so I had to actually adapt to them as instead of them adapting to me after losing a parent. So I lose my parent at 13, and I'm forced to give them the option of basically what? Move into a non-gang related environment or be exposed to a high school system full of gangs and territories in which I didn't even want to be about. Which Kentucky's one, you have the somewhat different lifestyle, it's slow, and you're done by what, 9 o'clock? Or what? Fast and literally a city that never sleeps like New York, and literally a transit system that can run anywhere in the world at any given moment. What do you choose? My dad didn't say stay with him. That wasn't even an option or even anything mentioned. Those are the 2 options you're given, and you're not the one that actually thinks outside the box at all. You just follow orders. That's what we're told to do. Follow orders and listen. So I thought it'd be the safer part to actually not go back to New York, because I already got in trouble in New York at one point in time. Not in a bad way, but just the wrong way. I wasn't looking for it, but I just happened to be looking for it as the way they painted it. So I say it like this then. As I did, I chose Kentucky. What did I lose? The hell that I have right now. Because my money's from 97, and yes, to everybody acting like the payments are due later. Yeah, but I was a minor. And literally, if I'm collecting DI or SSI from a parent that was working her ass off, honestly, I mean, what's $1,000 a month every month? Where do I lose? Unless I'm not seeing it and I'm requesting stuff. But everybody else is telling me this stuff as a kid. Your parents not giving me no money for you. What do I have to control with that? I'm a kid. I'm trying to fulfill mommy's goal. Graduate high school. That's it. Just graduate high school. That was my whole mission. But yet still, the night that I find out that quote unquote, or wake up in the morning and find out that basically, how can I say like this? The night before she was pissed, and that morning she wakes up dead, or I wake up dead, because I was supposed to potentially go with her. If that would have been the case, they were already getting a divorce. But see, nobody knows this because I don't talk about it and I just kept it quiet. But literally, the day that she threw a remote at him, I said, okay, that's too much for me. It is what it is. And literally, I don't know what's going on, but I just know shit ain't right. And two, how can I say like this? Somebody's playing me for the worst of the situation because literally, I'm saying shit that literally gets people in trouble, but yet still, nobody asks me the right thing to say. They ask me what they want me to say because they know what I'm going to say. That's how they play me. So they alleviated the correct question and asked me everything indirect to basically make me look like the guilty party, but not actually understand the value of the conversation that needed to be presented was ask questions at every angle instead of just what you wanted me to say. They just look for the answer, but not ask for why the answer actually occurred that way. So, last transaction. Again, I'm going to skip through that whole part. Even after the chocolate and the soy sauce and the gallon of water and all of that shit. And even an Epicac, just because of the fact that that's the only thing that would actually make me sick like that off of carrots. I don't get sick off of carrots. So somebody trying to paint a picture that's basically improper. But either way, I can say this though. I don't lose because that chocolate is not made to be overdosed on. It's just a laxative. It's not vitamins. So you basically go back to my other childhood angle of even painting this. The nice little birdie I had that I gave too much vitamins, but literally, I didn't know. But then you see the carcass under the bed and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck do I have? And literally, when I draw or quote unquote speak or exude my mind the way it should be exuded because that's what you're inputting, but not at the right way, but the wrong way, but the right way. But it's wrong because literally nobody's asking questions. They're just assuming. Who does not ask questions as a parent? What is going on? So you get in trouble so much, you're like, damn, it wasn't me. What do you think they're going to say next? Oh my God, I really got the damn devil on my hands. And then what? We get movies like niggas like to hop on the walls and shit. But it's okay though, because literally you made it even 10 times worse and painted what? The Butterfly Effect, Mystic River, Belly, what? Kids. The list goes on. And then literally you top it off with what? The devil himself. If I call it, what am I going to say? I'm right or wrong? No. But what would be the devil? The good son. I may miss one movie because I was supposed to say another movie, but the good son is the devil. And just because this is real time, it's not even fake. I can't even say it as being fake. I can't even be half remorseful and be like, yo, like nothing of this has ever happened in my life. But literally, the amount of feeds that I've actually posted and literally the kind of defense that I have, they think I'm out my damn mind. But literally, if I don't state it, everything will be done backdoors and literally, you'll never know nothing of the sort. It'd be out of sight, out of mind. Nobody will hear anything about it and literally, it'll be so big that it gets hushed up real quick and literally that's what everybody wants, which I'm not saying I don't want that, but that's not the point. They have me doing that for that purpose. It's not even for pure intent. It's basically just to escalate it to the point of basically somebody folds. I give them the answer and my heart gonna stop beating, but literally I hope that it's at old age instead of young age because literally if Anika's doing this, think about what actually took place. Somebody actually solicited and then basically recanted and then what? Had him re-lie again. But you still missing the right angle to present to make it seem like they didn't recant on a criminal intent as to them looking for a way out and being remorseful. That's what you fail to realize. Nobody wanted to prove criminal intent, but they sure in hell wanted to prove it on me. How? I paint this horrible picture and literally just ask questions to see, quote unquote, since I know the record, who's going to ask any questions behind it? Nobody. They're just going to throw it on him and just make sure he's barely living or quote unquote surviving, as what he considers to be a fun game to him of just playing manhunt and how can I say, camp out, Boy Scouts again. Oh, he's taking this shit the easy way. It's easy to him, but literally, what's 60 days of what I've done the whole time? 90 days, even a year. At 20, I'm 37 now. So what are you actually saying? Going backwards is beneficial, or literally you're just trying to mask another picture that I have to figure out how to get out of, which is basically what? Overting the original question of why is nobody asking questions, but just making obstacles and making hell for an individual for no reason. When literally, psychologically, that child is actually becoming mentally attached to an individual, and then they are required to potentially be in the picture just because of the fact that it is so traumatizing that that child is not without that parent, and I have to pay catch up or basically kiss ass. Now, she says she failed psychology, but was that not the mission for her to quote unquote ring up my number, or somebody use my number profusely online on the basis of what? Stating that I'm purchasing all these items for them, or what? Explain. Somebody trying to cover something up and saying that we're working together when my uncle basically said what? Marry her or what? I said hell no, and I went out. I'm looking for the quickest lotto come up. I even went down to the 100,000 marks. I started running the how can I say, the tag team game of basically saying mismatch in numbers. But even still, everywhere I've left, somebody won. That's the funny shit. I even call it that way. But where do I lose? I don't. You just prove a point that literally they wanted me to go down that road again so I could potentially win because somebody's going to fix the numbers that way. But literally, what is that the point of? A quick cash out and more hell real quick. Nah, I'm going to play you for the fool that you play me and just call you out on it and just see your face when literally I don't even have to post it. Y'all just hear the fucking conversation and know that literally I'm recorded everywhere I go. These cameras ain't here. Why not give the conversation in here and let you eat that shit? They infused it to the point to where literally it's tasteless. So what do you say to that? Now, I give it to you like this. I type it. Now, you have little kids that are little chefs now. You're just fucking their whole career when literally they're actually trying to do right potentially. So what do you say to that? What type of kid are they going to grow up to be? You know my records, and I'm old, and I've yet still to change. But yet still, I have to give you this story because people like to be ignorant and paint the wrong picture as a kid, thinking that they grown as hell. And their money ain't long enough to be grown. Long story short, we'll just paint it that way. I had 700 plus K because the judge said, if I'm not mistaken, 10% goes to the lawyer and the 70-30 basically goes to the parent, if I'm not mistaken. But that's how it worked when I actually flew there and sat on the right-hand side, if I'm not mistaken, and then got called up to the stand after that. And I was sitting, the judge was to my right, and literally, how can I say like this? They were talking above my head but below my head because literally I understood the numbers and it was just a million. But literally, we'll see how that works.